I think that's everything I wanted to say. We are going to get started on our backs, and so you can make your way down. Start to make yourself comfortable, whatever that looks like. You can pad the head if you want to, put your pillow there, whatever you need, just to allow the body to come into a comfortable shape. And you can bend the knees, let the soles of the feet rest on your mat, and we'll bring the palms somewhere where they can make contact with the body. So that might be one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, or two hands on the belly. See what feels natural. And you can allow your eyes to flutter close or just come to a soft gaze. And we'll take a few moments here to check in, tune in, notice what's happening in your internal environment, allowing the body to soften, perhaps releasing a few layers of tension or tightness, noticing any physical sensations moving through the body, taking note of any emotions or thoughts you're having. Noticing the quality of your natural breath this morning. Is it flowing with ease or is it feeling a little bit restricted? Do you feel it deep in your belly, or are you breathing up in your chest and in your neck? And then when you're ready to invite some gentle movement, we're just going to start out by gently rocking the head side to side. So if you need a few more moments of stillness, or you're just waking up and you're not ready to get moving, you can stay there as long as you like. If you're ready to get moving, we're just going to start out by rocking the head side to side, super gentle. And we'll pause our head movement. We're going to reach the arms up and make fists. So you're wrapping your thumb around your forefinger and imagining that you were kind of punching up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to come onto our heels, okay, and walk our heels a little bit away from the sits bones. So they're not super close to your butt, okay? Give yourself a little space. Now you're going to think about dragging your heels towards your sits bones and then lift your hips up off the floor. So we're going to hold in this hip bridge here, okay? So see if you can scoop your tailbone under, continue to pull your heels back towards your butt, and then all you're going to do is let your wrists flex. So your fists point in towards the inner part of the arm, and then your wrists are going to extend, the wrists point out, okay? And if for some reason you'd rather not do this with your hips up, you can always keep them down, okay? But if you're okay holding the bridge, just holding the bridge and then doing quite a subtle movement in the wrist. But as you get going, it might be pretty sensational depending on the tightness of your forearms, right? So it's just in and out with those fists. They're pointing inwards, flexing, and outwards. Good. Really nice. All right, we'll settle the hips down. Take a moment. And now you're gonna start to lift your hips back up. So you're gonna do this one incrementally. So you're gonna roll your spine up one vertebrae at a time. Reach the arms back behind you. So you can keep your fists if that works, but see if you can reach them as far back as possible. And then the arms are gonna travel forward first. They're gonna lower all the way down to your mat as you roll your spine down. So now your hips land on the floor and you're gonna lift your legs halfway up, and now we're in our dead bug. And now same movement with the arms. The arms are going up and back. Reach back as much as you're comfortable, trying to get some lengthening in the armpits, and then lower the arms back down. Okay, 2 feet come back to the mat. You're on your heels. You're dragging the heels towards your butt. Okay, we're gonna open the hands, so spread them nice and wide. You roll your spine up, arms follow, they go up and back. Keep pulling those heels towards your butt, and then arms travel forward and you roll your spine down. Okay, spine lands, feet lift. Okay, this time we're gonna pause in our dead bug. So knees are directly over hips and we're circling the ankles here. So nothing else is moving besides the ankle joints. Hips and knees are staying still. See if you can keep your low back nice and flat to your mat. You can visit both directions. Good. And now go ahead, point your toes. So you can reach the toes away from the knees. Great. You're going to take your right hand, connect it to your left thigh, and reach your left arm up. Okay. So right hand, left thigh are pushing into each other. Okay. So I want you to feel that firm connection. And then we're going to do a lateral dead bug variation. So your right leg is going out to the side, left arm goes out to the side. Okay, and they slowly come back in together. So see if you can coordinate that a few times, keeping your toes pointed. Okay, and again, priority number one is the connection between left thigh and right hand. Okay, then the movement comes in your right hip and left arm. Good. Awesome. We'll come to center, and then just one time you're going to extend your right leg forward, left arm back, and we're going to hold for about 4 to 6 breaths. So a little bit of a longer hold. Try to keep, most of your low back connected to the floor. It might be arched up a little, but to really help your core stay connected, it's only it might only be arched up a little. Really try to keep it flat. Okay, the leg doesn't have to go super low to the ground. Good. And then once you get through 4 to 6 breaths, really feel that core starting to fire and warm up. We'll draw our knees all the way to the chest. Gently rock the low back side to side. And allow the belly to be soft. Really thinking low back massage here. Checking in, seeing how you're feeling. And we'll come right back into that dead bug, pointed toes. So this time, left hand and right thigh press together firmly, and then left leg drops out to the side, right arm goes out to a T, and they come right back to center. Okay, so it's a little bit of a lateral dead bug. Try to keep your right hip glued down. So you're only lowering that left leg as far as it's comfortable, right? You might start to feel some different things working in that left hip or in your core muscles. Good. Getting some different movement there this morning. Yeah, and then when you're ready, arm goes back, leg goes forward. You decide how low to the ground you bring this leg. We want the core to stay connected. So that might mean keeping your leg up a little higher. Okay, good. Few breaths. Notice if you started tensing the face and the neck. See if you can keep those parts fairly relaxed. And then when you're ready, this time we'll settle the feet down, reach the arms back behind us. So feet are mat width apart, and then you're just gonna drop your knees to one side and then drop your knees to the other side. And you might wanna go a little quicker here and make the windshield wiper dynamic, or you might wanna take your time and really stretch or reach back each time you drop your knees to one side. Just see what's calling to you this morning. Awesome. So we're going to do just a little bit of single leg work on our back and then we'll change our shape. So draw your left knee to your chest and see if you can really kind of hug it in and then maybe just rock it side to side a few times. So it goes over towards your left shoulder and then crosses over towards your right shoulder. You can make this happen with your hands if that works. Okay, we're gonna keep our right foot on the floor right now. So right leg is bent. Okay, now keep your knee in the center of your chest. Take your hands away, but try to keep the left knee pulling in. Okay, so now you're using your muscles to keep the leg in. Okay, from here, your right heel is lifting off the floor. So you're on the ball of your right foot. You're not in your toes, you're on the ball of the foot. Okay, now go ahead, lift your hips up. Yes, awesome. And then we're going to keep our hips lifted, drop your right heel and lift your right heel. Okay, so it's a little bit different. If you want more of a challenge, you'll reach the arms up. If you want more support, arms are going to stay by your sides. And the movement is just a heel raise or just a calf raise, right? But if you stay tucked and really keep pushing the ball of your right foot into the floor, you'll soon start to feel all kinds of great work in the back of that right leg, maybe even the calf. Good. And then when you're ready, you're going to drop that heel down. We're going to settle the hips down, cross your left ankle over your right thigh, and pick up your right leg. You're in a figure four, and gently rock the low back side to side. Yeah. So we're warming up our figure four here. We're going to do a new fun rock and roll variation in this shape in a second. So warming it up a little bit. You can gently rock side to side. Keep driving your left knee away from your body. Awesome. You'll settle the right foot down, unwind, bring the left foot down. Now pull the right knee to your chest. Okay. And then you can gently move it in and out, right? So it goes out towards the right shoulder and then in towards the left shoulder. Check in with, see what's happening in this right hip today. Maybe it feels different than your other side. Okay, now you set that knee up in the middle of the chest. You take the hands away, try to keep the knee pulling towards you. So you're engaging some of those hip flexor core muscles. You're gonna lift your left heel off the floor and roll your spine up. It doesn't have to be very high. Like you don't have to lift as high as you possibly could so that your breath changes. You just need to be up a few vertebrae. And then it's just a lift and a lower of the heel, okay? So it's just a lift and a lower of the heel. If sometimes cramping happens, that's okay. Just take a few moments, try to breathe through it, or take a second and come out of it. Arms can be up or down, right? They can be reaching up or down by your sides. So it's not a big movement, but it can be powerful. Okay, try to stay tucked under just so that you're really getting those low belly muscles. Yeah, really, really nice. And then once again, we'll cross this right ankle over the left thigh, make sure the hips settle down, relax the arms down. You're in your figure four, and then you can gently rock side to side, or you can just stay still and breathe into the stretch. If you'd rather not add movement to it, that works too, okay? See if you can drive your right knee away from your face. Awesome job. Okay, so we're gonna unwind the feet. All right, open the knees nice and wide. See if you can pull the sides of your knees towards the floor and just take a few breaths. So you're just kind of engaging your abductor, your abductor muscles as you pull the legs open. Good. Awesome. Okay, and then your knees can come together. You might just open and close them a few times. And then we're gonna roll over and come on up to a seat, and we'll visit that movement I just told you about, and then we'll come into table in a second. So if you would prefer to just stick with your usual rock and roll that you're familiar with, right? You can play with that. If it's clunky, put your blanket behind your back and it will make it more smooth, okay? So you can always come back to that variation that most of us are pretty familiar with at this point. If you wanna give this other one a shot, okay, we'll do left leg first. You're gonna cross your left ankle over your right thigh and come into your figure four like this, okay? Your left hand goes under your left shin and then on top of your right shin. So a little bit like a pretzel, but you're gonna interlace your hands on the front of your right shin. So it looks like this, okay? And then all you're gonna do is give that rock and roll a shot, okay? So it's the same exact movement you're familiar with, but now you're gonna get a little bit of a different stretch. If you do not like this option or you're like, I don't know what she's talking about, just come back to your usual rock and roll and it will be great for the spine, okay? So it's a little bit of an earlier rock and roll than we do usually, but it's a nice way to get some momentum, literally, and our cores and our spines all warmed up, okay? I was playing with this earlier. I thought it might be fun to do it with you guys this morning. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll switch sides if you took that option, okay? So try to get your right ankle now to cross over your left thigh, okay? Your right hand goes under the right calf and then both hands interlace in front of that left shin, okay? And then see if you can use your momentum, roll forward and back, right? And like I said before, it's never a bad idea to put your blanket behind your spine, okay? Good. Awesome. And you could just be doing your classic rock and roll as well. Okay, great. Let's roll over and head towards our tabletop. Feel free to pad your knees if you need some support, or even if you don't need some support, it can feel nice just to have a little cushioning. Why not add some comfort when we have the opportunity? So you're going to bring your palms under the shoulders and you can park your knees under your hips. Great. And we're going to visit a new variation of cat-cow that's a little more related to gait. So you're going to step your left leg and your right hand forward, right? So I was in table. I just stepped my left leg, my right hand forward, right? Now, all you're going to do is move through your cat-cows like this. So you're going to round your spine, tuck your chin, breathe into that back body, and then you can start to untuck the tailbone, arch through the back a bit, look up, okay? And you can start to move through your cat-cows like this to the rate of your own breath. It doesn't need to look like mine. It might feel a little unusual just because we took a step forward, right? But just see what you notice, see what you feel. We're definitely still warming the body up. We'll do a few like this. Great. And then you'll step your left knee and your right hand back. So you're back in your table and we'll go right to the other side. So your left hand and your right knee step forward, okay? And then see if you can visit your cat-cows here. So you can play with your breath here as well, okay? There's no right or wrong place to inhale or exhale. Just see what feels natural to you, okay? And then we'll step left hand, right knee back, and we're in our tabletop. Just gonna start to circle the shoulders around the palms. So want it to warm up the wrists, the forearms, all the tissues in the palms and in the arms a bit, and then you'll reverse your direction. So see if you can distribute your weight and your pressure into all different parts of your hand. So get under all the 10 fingers, all the different parts of the knuckles and the palms. So we're adding some stimulus or a little bit of load to some tissues that might not get that attention always. Good. Awesome. And then from here, you're going to curl your back toes under if they weren't already. Push the floor away from you and lift your knees up. Okay. Good. So if you need to at any point, you drop those knees down, okay? Because I know everyone's different. This gets challenging. You're going to take your left hand and touch your right hand and then put it right back in its place, okay? Now, same left hand, touch your right knee, right thigh, put it back in its place. And then left hand, left thigh, back in its place. And then if your knees are still up after all that, drop them down, uncurl the toes, rock your hips back. You can come onto tented fingertips. We'll take a child's pose. Reconnect to your breath. Okay, if you want it to be more active, you push your finger pads into the floor. Stay a little bit rounded through your spine, or you could do a more passive variation and just let your head rest. Okay, and we'll repeat that with the other hand, but you can always keep the knees down for it as well. Okay, so when you're ready, you'll come through table. We're going to lift the knees up so you're in your hover. Now it's your right hand, it's just gonna tap your left hand, come back to its place. And then right hand taps left thigh, comes back to its place. And then right hand touches right thigh, comes back to its place. And now we're reaching the hips all the way up and back to our downward dog. So you can start to pedal your feet. See if you can check in with your face, your neck, your head, your jaw. All of that is pretty relaxed, okay? You're just gazing right in between those ankles. You can bend the knees, straighten the knees. Good. Keep pushing the floor away from you though, so you're not sinking into the shoulder blades or anything like that. Nice job. We are going to rock forward to our high plank. Rock forward to the high plank. You can always settle the knees down, right? So they're a little behind the hips if you need a little bit of a rest, okay? And then just start to pulse the heels back and forth. If your knees are down, you're just rocking your hips back and forth, okay? Make sure you're still pushing the floor away from you. You might get a little bit of a calf stretch here if you're doing this with the knees up. Nice job. Great. So from here, we're going to drop just the right knee down. Just the right knee down. Yep. And then you're going to glide your left leg out to the side and glide it right back behind you. Okay. So you can keep the foot on the floor, or if you wanted more of a challenge for the hip and the core, you could hover the foot 1 inch up. You decide what you want to do. Great. From here, we're going to let the leg land on the outside. So the left toes are in line with the right knee. I'm going to turn and face you, okay? But my left toes are in line with my right knee. And then I'm going to come on up to my tall kneeling. I'm going to grab my block and I'm going to place it on my left palm. So it's the hand next to the leg that's straight. If you don't have your block, just pretend, grab a tissue box or a book, okay? You're going to press it up. All right, and then our movement, you're gonna start to reach your right hand towards the floor or your other block if the floor is too far away, okay? And then see if you can press your block up, and we'll do a little press. Yep, and falling over is part of it. It's okay, no worries. I just saw some people fall, it's fine. It's all about our balance, right? You just get back up, good. So you reach down, tap the floor or your block, or it might not even reach the floor. Use your side waist muscles, push on up, and then do a shoulder press. Yes. So if the floor is feeling very far away, okay, take your block, just reach to the block and then come back up. Good. See if you can play with that, explore that a few more times, just on your own pace. So it's your right hand reaching the floor, left arm holding the block, okay? Keep spreading your palm out. So another challenge is if we don't have enough going on, is that we are letting the block rest on the palm, right? We're not gripping the block. Good. Awesome job. Okay, you can relax the block down on the floor. You're gonna take this left leg, bend the knee, and turn the toes outward, okay? Yeah, so your left heel is in line with your right knee, toes are pointing outward. Awesome. From here, I want you to see if you can take your hands to your hips and drop your left hip down a little bit. So it might be hiked up here. See if you can drop it down. Good. Then you're just going to bring your left elbow inside your left leg. Take your right arm out to a T. And you're just driving your left knee forward and pulling it back. So we're letting our knees go past our toes or go out over the toes at least, working on some of this ankle dorsiflexion while we're getting into this left inner thigh, okay? If you're not feeling the left inner thigh, it's okay, but if you really push elbow and leg together, it will probably kick on. It'll feel like a strengthening stretch scenario. Yeah, good. We'll hold the last one. Drive it forward. See if you can hold, and we'll reach this arm overhead. So now you're lengthening your right fingertips away from your right knee. Whew, and it gets hard, right? Because we're loading this left leg quite a bit. Few breaths. You'll push off the ball of your left foot. We'll come on out of it. Yes. We're going to take a nice breath in and reach both arms up. Grow nice and tall. And then your hands are going to make their way to the floor. Your lower body is staying the exact same. Okay. So your palms make their way to the floor. They're under the shoulders. Yes. And then just take a moment. Try to pull your left knee back. Okay. And then extend your left arm forward. So left arm is reaching forward. You could think about lengthening left hip and left fingertips away from each other. And then bring the left hand down. And then the awkward one happens. You reach the right arm forward. See how it goes. Bring the right hand down. Great. And then from here, you're just going to take this left leg, extend it straight back behind you. So it's hovering off the floor. Great. And we're going to move through some of our dolphin push-ups. So our left leg is just hovering a little bit. You might walk your hands a little in front of the shoulders, and you're going to keep your elbows as close together as you can. Drop them down and go ahead, lift them up. Okay. So from the front, it looks like this, right? Your elbows are staying as close together as you can. You're dropping them down, lifting them up. This is, going to get into some shoulder, tricep, upper body stuff, but it's a lot of work for the body and the core, right? Your balance system. Good. You can always bring your left toes down if this is a little too much. Awesome. So you'll walk your hands back under the shoulders. You're going to push into the ball of your left foot. So the left leg is still long behind you. And you're just going to reach your right leg all the way up and back. Three-legged downward dog. Good. Rock forward one time. Draw your right knee towards your nose. Rock back. Reach the leg up. Drop your right leg down. Rock forward. You'll drop your knees. Uncurl the toes. Send those hips back. Take a few moments in your child's pose. You might rock side to side, or you could take any variation that feels soothing, calming, restorative to you. Nice job. We'll sweep the arms forward, come through table, toes tuck under, knees come to a hover, and then you can send your hips up and back towards your downward facing dog. We're walking our hands. We're taking a walk towards the back of the mat now. Soften the knees and start to roll your spine up. So really root down through the tripod of your feet. Big toe mound, little toe mound, heel. Roll on up. Great. We'll sweep the arms up to frame the ears. Grow nice and tall. Side bend to the right. Okay, push into your left foot as you side bend right. Come through center, we'll side bend left. Push into your right foot as you side bend left. Come through center. Now go ahead, turn your toes in, heels out. Toes in, heels out. Yep. Interlace the hands behind the head and see if you can take a gentle back bend here. Okay, so we brought our hips into internal rotation. And then we're lifting the spine, or lifting the chest rather, up towards the ceiling, pushing the head into the hands. Good. From here, you're going to soften your knees, reach your arms forward, come into your chair squat with your feet like this. Okay, so my feet are just a little turned in, like, I don't know, I think it's like pigeons, right? Like pigeon toed. And then send your hips back. Yeah. Okay. So see how it feels. Might feel a little weird, might feel a little awkward. It's okay to let the knees like come into touch. Good. And then just pull your elbows next to your ribs and reach your arms forward. You can sit a little lower or you can come up a little higher. You decide. See if you can just do that arm movement a few times. Pull them back and then reach them forward. Pull them back. Reach them forward. Good. We're going to bring the hands on the thighs and just bounce up and down a few times. Yeah. Whatever that means to you. You can just take the word bounce and whatever that means to you, just going to bounce up and down a few times. See how that feels in the legs. And then you'll root down through your feet. You can stand all the way up. We'll take our toes to face forward. Okay, so now our hips are just back kind of in neutral. Reach the arms all the way up. It's gonna soften the knees, hinge your hips back. See if you can come through a flat back here now. So you could balance a cup of water on your low back in theory. Okay, so hips are going as far back as you can get them. Reach the arms forward. You're gonna walk your hands out to your mat and we'll walk back out into our plank. Okay, and so you can visit those heel pulses again. If not, then knees are down and you're pulsing the hips back and forth. Okay, so heels are going back and forth. Might feel different this time around. Sometimes once we do the movement for the second time, things become more integrated or you feel a little stronger. Maybe you feel more tired the second time around. Good. And now you're going to drop your left knee down, right? And you're going to glide your right leg out to the side and then right back behind you. Okay. So now it's our right leg. Like I said, on the other side, if you want to hover the right leg above the floor, you totally could. That's going to be more challenging in the hip. Okay. Otherwise, you're just gliding it. Yes. Okay. So now your right leg is out to the side. Your right big toe is in line with your left knee. This is where you grab onto your block. We come on up to that tall kneeling place, okay? Your left toes can be tucked or untucked. I tend to think tucked helps with your balance a little more, but do what feels right. Stick your block on the right palm. It's just resting, okay? So thumb isn't gripping. And then you press it on up, okay? So we're gonna reach this left hand towards the floor. It can go anywhere, okay? Just go to an angle that feels natural, and it might just go to your block rather than the floor. And then you press on up, and we'll do a shoulder press in between. Okay, so this is kind of like a windmill variation, right? We're trying to use our side core muscles, right, as opposed to momentum, right? Sometimes momentum will be a little helpful, but we're trying mostly not to use momentum here, okay, and see how it goes. I do find it helpful to intentionally drive your right foot down into the floor. Yeah, that will just help you find some stability. Awesome, we can have that be the last one. Great, can stick that block aside. Now we're bending the right knee. So your right heel is in line with your left knee. The knee is bent, okay? This right hip might be kind of hiked up. See if you can drop it down, great. You lean towards this right leg and connect your elbow on the inner thigh or somewhere along here, okay? And then start to push them together. The pushing together does matter, okay? Once they're pushing together, arm goes out to a T, and then you're driving the knee forward and pulling it back. Yeah, and again, you don't need to be all the way down here, right, to have this be effective. Just side bend and find a place that feels okay in your body. Yeah, okay, and then you're just driving the knee forward and back. So we're passing the toes, pulling it back. The next time you drive forward, you pause, extend the left arm alongside your left ear. Take a few breaths here. And then you're gonna push into the ball of your right foot to come on up. We're gonna bring the arms down and then take a nice breath in, reach them both up. Grow nice and tall. Keep your right knee pulling back as you float your hands to the floor. See if you can go kind of slow. Hands come to the floor, exactly. Now you're pulling your right knee back and reaching your right arm forward. So see if you can feel some lengthening in the right side of your body. Okay, a little different. Hopefully feels somewhat good or interesting. Good, and then bring the right hand down and play with the left. So I think the left feels a little more awkward or unfamiliar. And then you'll bring your left hand down. Okay, you're gonna take this right leg and shoot it behind you. It's straight behind you, hovering off the floor. You might walk your hands forward a little, and then you're visiting your dolphin push-ups. So it's your elbows that are lowering towards the floor. Your forearms kind of connect to the mat, and then you push into your hands and lift your elbows. Good. Yeah, and see how it goes, right? Notice if you're dumping all your weight onto your left side, see if you can keep some weight, um, you know, on your right side, even though the leg is lifted. Good. And then when you're ready, your right toes come to the mat. You walk your hands back under the shoulders, and then you reach your left leg all the way up and back, three-legged downward dog. Good. We'll rock forward one time, curl the knee towards the nose. Rock back, three-legged down dog. Rock forward to plank, and then lower the whole body all the way down to your mat. You can drop your knees down first or not. Reach those arms forward. Let the forehead come to the mat or your blanket, your pillow, whatever. And then bend the knees, gently sway the legs side to side. So take a few moments here, reconnect to your breath. Notice how you're feeling. We're gonna get into some back body strengthening work here. So connect the tops of the feet to the mat. So the tops of the feet push down, the kneecaps lift up a bit, and then try not to be super arched in your low back. See if you can kind of drop the tailbone down a bit. Try to lengthen the low back, okay? Good. So from here, you're gonna have your arms out like at 10 and 2 o'clock, basically, making the letter V or the letter Y, and the thumbs facing the ceiling. Your forehead is down. You're gonna lift both arms up, okay, and then lower both arms down, and then lift your chest and your head up. So see if you can alternate that. Arms lift, arms lower, chest and head lifts, chest and head lowers. See how it goes. And then the next time the arms lift, they come out to the side. They're in a T. Lift the chest and the head. Okay, optional lift of the legs. You decide, they can stay up or down. And then we're circling the arms. So probably like medium size, medium pace, or just whatever type of circle feels doable. Okay, so it's gonna start to feel challenging if it didn't feel challenging immediately. Your gaze is right down in front of you. So you're not cranking the back of your neck. The back of the neck is long. Good. If you want to start to add in a leg circle, you can. So you could try to circle the legs as you circle the arms. That's more of a brain challenge. It's going to feel weird. And then reverse directions. Okay. You don't have to add in the leg circles, right? One is going clockwise, one is going counterclockwise, right? But it's definitely challenging for the brain here. We're going to hold for like three, or not hold, but we're going to keep going for like 3 more breaths. Kind of get the heart rate elevated a little bit. And then you can settle the whole body down. Turn your head, look at your right hand. So you're on your left cheek looking at your right hand. Invite the whole body to relax into your mat. Bend your right knee. Lift your right leg and reach your right big toe towards the floor behind you. So you're just kind of crossing this leg and taking some breath. So it's a bit of a spinal rotation, spinal twist scenario. Doesn't matter if the right toes actually touch the floor or not. And then you can reverse it, roll right back onto the belly. You'll want to turn the head now and look at your left hand, bend your left knee, and lift that left leg up and reach the big toe towards the floor. Okay, so legs stay kind of bent. And again, it doesn't matter if it touches the floor or not. Just visualize your breath in those left side ribs. Nice, nice job. Okay, we'll roll back to our front. You're gonna plant your palms under your shoulders next to your chest. You decide either knee push up, so that means knees stay down, you press up, okay? Or classic push up, which knees would lift up. You decide. We'll drop our knees down and walk the hands into a tall kneeling. See if you can roll your spine up to your tall kneeling And then we're gonna rotate side to side. So just let your arms lead the way, and your rib cage is moving a little more dynamically around your hips. Good, so you can shake all of it out. Great, so we're gonna come into a little bit of a lunging sequence. So if, I don't know, my blocks got all disoriented. If you need to get your stuff in order, you can do that. We're gonna be stepping the right leg forward, okay? And we actually are starting with the block, so I should have mentioned that. Starting with the block in hand, right leg forward. You might wanna put your padding under your left knee, okay? So first thing we're going to do is a halo. So you're gonna take your block right in between your palms, okay? And then you're gonna see if you can move it around your head in a rotation. So we usually do things pretty slowly, but I actually want you to see if you can go on the quicker side, okay? And kind of push your hands into the block. And you can let your rib cage, right, move as much as you need to get the block around the head. I like to think of this as shoulder flossing. Just like reminds me of flossing our shoulders. Yeah. Okay. And then reverse direction. So it might challenge your balance a little, especially if you're going on the quicker side. Good. A little more dynamic. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. From here, you're going to reach your block up. Okay. Yep. So this one's going to be a little more familiar. So block is reaching all the way up, growing nice and tall. Push the palms together. We're going to side bend to the right. Usually we just side bend kind of the upper half of the torso. Today, I want you to really get your hips into it. So let your hips go to the left as you side bend to the right. So just kind of check out how far you can go. And then your side waist muscles pull you up. Send your hips to the right and your arms to the left. See if you can go back and forth here a few times, right? So when we usually do these, we just do kind of like a mini side bend. Today, let's exaggerate it. Really let the hips go over to one side and then over to the other, okay? See how it goes. Awesome job. Okay, we'll plant our block down at the front of the mat. Your blocks can be on any height that works for you. We're gonna put our hands, one hand on each block if you're using them. Lift your back knee up. Yep, back knee lifts. Awesome. From here, okay, I want you to see if you can keep your torso glued to your front thigh. Start to bend into your back knee and straighten your front leg as your hips go back. And then rock forward, drive your front knee forward, straighten your back leg. So one leg is always bending, one leg is always moving towards straight, okay? And when you go back, you might get a nice hamstring stretch, okay? Pull your toes towards your face when you go back, your right toes. Yep. And then rock forward. Okay. So see if you can get this to be a little more fluid, a little more smooth, just rocking forward and back. It might not be a huge movement in your body. It might look very subtle. It might just be a little bend to the back leg, little bend forward. Okay. Yeah. See what works. Good. Love it. Okay. From here. Okay. We are going to come on up to a lunge and you're going to bring a block with you. So if you have trouble getting up, then use your wall or your chair, okay? If not, see if you can keep your front leg bent. Your back leg is going to be a little bent and take your block on up. So yeah, and if you had to like do some stuff to get up here, that's fine. Just make your way on up, okay? So make sure that you're not on a tightrope. You might need to take your back leg a little wider, right? You don't want the legs right in front of each other. Widen your stance. We are gonna do some chops with our block. You're like, what is that? You're gonna take your block in between your hands, okay? And both legs are gonna be on the straighter side when you're up here. The block is going up and to the left, okay? And then what you're gonna do is chop your block down and to the right, to the outside of your right leg as you come into your lunge. Yeah. So it looks like this. Both legs are straight, block is up and to the left, and then chop your block down and to the right. Yes. So see if you can play with that a bunch of times. And it's nice because you could just put some really nice power into your chop, but you don't necessarily need to go super low to the ground. Just find your bottom, okay? You might just even do it like a tiny bit and focus just on the arms, right? Or you could chop and really go close to the floor. Yeah, nice job. Thank you for having fun with me today. Okay, good. See if you can do maybe two more. Yeah, some lunging. Awesome. And then what you'll do is bend into your front leg, plant your blocks, both blocks down, and I want you to bend your knees a little, okay? Yep, so you can use your blocks to start, and then all you're gonna do is make sure your back heel is lifted and both knees are bent. You shift your weight back and you're gonna look like this. So we're slouching and rounding the spine, relaxing the head and the arms, okay? Standing up higher will be less intense. Squatting down lower will be more intense. And the movement is all about your front foot. You're shifting your weight into the ball of your foot and into the heel. Ball of the foot and heel, okay? Your back leg is just a kickstand. See what you notice, see what you feel, okay? It's all about this front foot, okay? The foot's never lifting, it's just a weight shift, okay? And then when you're ready, root down through your feet, keep them in this shape, and we'll roll on up to standing. Take a moment once you arrive. We'll sweep our arms up, grow nice and tall. And then you're just gonna hinge your hips back to 6 o'clock. So soft bend in the knee, all about the hinge. Good. Slowly come up. Two more like that. Hip hinge back. Slowly come up. Last one. Awesome. We'll relax the arms down. See if you can rotate here without changing your feet. So that might challenge your balance a bit, right? What do your feet need to do to keep you from falling over? Good. And then go ahead, drop your chin to your chest. We're gonna slowly roll the spine all the way down so that your hands reach your floor. You're gonna extend the left leg back. And now you don't want the hands on the blocks. We're gonna go into a three-legged downward dog. So press through your palms, reach your right leg all the way up and back, three-legged downward dog. From here, open up your right hip. So turn your right hip, knee, and foot away from your left leg. Open it up, and then turn your hip, knee, and foot towards your left leg. See if you can play with that a few more times. So hip, knee, and foot turn away from left leg. Hip, knee, and foot turn towards left leg. You got it. Last one. And then you can rock forward, drop both knees down, uncurl the toes. Any child's pose that's gonna feel good to you right now. Maybe you wanna come into like the fetal position, bring your hands next to your feet and let the shoulders melt towards the floor. Maybe you wanna make a pillow for your head. You can stay still or rock side to side. Just reconnect to your breath, reset. Maybe take note of any differences in your sides. And then you'll sweep your arms forward, come through tabletop. We'll tuck our toes under, lift our knees, and rock our hips up and back to our down dog. We're gonna walk our hands back towards our feet one more time, and then roll your spine up. Good. Arms are gonna sweep up to frame the ears. Little side bend left, right? So in this one, we are not really moving the hips too much. You're just side bending kind of with the upper part of the ribs. Come through center. Little side bend to the left. Come through center. Now bring your elbows to your ribs. So you're in like this 90-degree position. And we're gonna do heels in, toes out. So now we're in like duck feet. Okay, now squat. Now come into your squat. So last time we did toes in, heels out. Now we're doing heels in, toes out. So we're in externally rotated position. Find your bottom, doesn't matter where you go, and just reach your arms forward, pull your arms back. Good. right? So we're varying up the angle of our squat, just gets into some different muscles, might notice some different things, familiar movement, different shape. Good. Awesome. And then same thing we did last time. Just rest your hands on your thighs and see if you can bounce. Okay. You might come up a little taller if you're getting tired. You might go a little lower if you have a little bit more energy. Yep. And you can just let it be nice and bouncy, like you were on a little bit of a trampoline. Yeah. Whew. Just a little bit really gets you. And then ground down through the feet, stand all the way up. Have your feet facing forward. You're gonna drop your chin to your chest, roll the spine down, walk your hands back out into your plank, drop both knees down, walk the hands into the knees. We roll back up to a tall kneeling. And now go ahead, step your left leg forward and grab your yoga block. So we're gonna visit those halos on this side. Feel free to pad your back knee, okay? And you're gonna just start to take that block around your head, right? And you can let your rib cage move as much as you need to. For those of us with ponytails, it's a little bit extra work to get around the ponytail, but that's okay. Yep, and just see how it goes. Yep, see if you can get behind the head. Yeah, this is just really good practice. We want our shoulders to be able to move in a variety of ways. We don't ever want to get like a frozen shoulder putting a winter coat on, even though we don't need winter coats right now. And then reverse directions. Good. Okay, so from here, block reaches up, grow nice and tall. So we're doing those exaggerated side bends where you're reaching your block to the left and shifting your hips to the right, and then push your hands into the block to help you come up, and then shift your hips to the left as you reach your block over to the right. So it's just gonna activate your side waist muscles a little more than the side bend that we usually do in class, okay? See how it goes. If it's completely taking your breath away, then go back to the smaller version, okay? You wanna be able to breathe through it. Good. Last one. Awesome. We'll take the blocks on either side of this left foot. You can have them on any height. Tuck your back toes under. Lift your back knee up. You're in your runner's lunge. We're gonna visit that fluid coordination movement. So you start to bend into your back leg, send your hips back, pull your left toes to your head, and then bend into your front leg, straighten your back leg. See if you can keep your torso glued to your left thigh. Good. Yep. And it might just be, like I said, a mini version where you're just gently rocking back and forth without making it this huge dramatic movement. Good. Really nice. Okay, so front knee is bent, back leg is straight. You're gonna pick up one of your blocks and see if you can make your way on up to standing. However you need to get up here is perfect. We're gonna visit our chops on this side. So both legs start on the straighter side. The block, right, is up and to the right, and then you chop it down into the left as you come into your lunge. Nice job. Everyone is doing such a good job with these. I'm excited. Yeah. And see how it goes. So it's nice because your core does need to respond to the movement, right? You're kind of initiating it with the arms. Good. And then I also like it because you could just keep it more upper body focused. If you wanted to get the legs really involved, you can go a little lower. Good. Okay, balance, obviously always a thing. So my back heel is lifted. For anyone who's wondering about the back foot, back heel is lifted. Good. Great. From here, you're gonna come back with both blocks in front of you. Okay, you're gonna start to walk your back foot in a little and keep your back heel lifted. So you don't want it back here, you want it a little closer. Okay, both knees are bent. Okay, and now you're slouching. So blocks stay in front of you. You're slouching. Find your slouch that works. You can be up here, you can be down here. And then it's just a weight shift, right? Just shifting, just in quotes, the weight into the front of the foot and the back of the foot, all in the left foot. My right foot is really just a kickstand, just there for balance. See what you notice, see what you feel. Okay. There's no right or wrong. Okay. Just see what you feel in your body. And this is permission to slouch as much as you can. So, permission to round the spine as much as you're able. Keep your feet as they are and start to roll your spine up. We'll grow nice and tall. Reach the palms up to frame the ears. Okay, we'll do a little side bend left and a little side bend right. And then we'll do our 3 hinges. So our hips shift back, arms shift forward, and then slowly hinge on up. So this isn't really a squat, right? It's all about getting those hips back and then hinging back up. Yeah, some of us have an easier time with a hinge. Some of us have a harder time with a hinge. That's okay. Good. Make your way on up. Relax the arms down. Can let the arms start to rotate you, but try to keep your feet as they are. We'll challenge balance a tiny bit. Nice job. And then from here, drop the chin to the chest. We're rolling the spine all the way down. Palms plant. Right leg goes back. You're in a runner's lunge. We're going to push through the hands, reach the left leg all the way up and back, 3-legged dog. And then you're rotating your left hip, knee, and foot outwards, and then rotating it inwards. Yes, okay. So you're opening that hip and then sort of closing it down towards your right leg. Good. Really, really nice. Okay. You can bring that left foot down to meet the right, rock forward through plank, drop your knees down, and then see if you can just sway your feet to one side or the other, doesn't matter which one. Let your hips come to the floor. Legs are going to go long in front of you. We're shaking the legs out. Yeah, as much as you can. Just make sure nothing's stuck or gripping, everything's still flowing. Awesome. And then you can come to one edge of the mat. We're going to move to the top of my mat. We're going to make our way down onto our backs. Okay. So however works for you. If you like the slow, controlled roll down, you can go for that. Or you can just lay on your back. Okay. Whatever sounds better to you in this moment, go for it. Okay. We'll meet you down there if you're skipping the roll. And then we're going to take the arms nice and wide. So arms are out in a T. I want you to spread your fingers away from each other so that you're lengthening the inner arm lines, okay? So you're kind of just energetically reaching outward with the fingertips. Yeah. And then once you're good with that, just relax the arms completely. Shoulders, elbows, hands, wrists, fingers melt and soften. You're going to extend your legs up towards the ceiling. They can be a little bent or on the straighter side, you decide. And then you're swaying the legs side to side. Okay. A little low back massage here. Good. And then we'll pause in the middle and open the legs nice and wide. Yep. And just, you don't have to force them to go anywhere they don't want to go. Just kind of find your end range here. And then slowly bring the legs together. One's going to cross in front of the other. They open back up nice and wide. And then one's going to cross in front of the other. Yeah, see if you can move through that a few times. Really starting to invite your breath, your energy, your body to settle. So just moving in a way that feels soothing, calming, relaxing to you. Good. Awesome. And then let's bring the knees in towards the chest. You can give them a hug. And then if it feels okay, see if you can curl your chin towards your chest into a nice tight ball. Relax your head down. And then start to circle the knees, one clockwise, one counterclockwise. We're lubricating the hip joint. Yeah. Massaging the low back, can reverse directions. Good. And then all you're going to do is lengthen both legs long on your mat. So they're just resting. And then this is a lift of the right leg just a bit. So it lifts up and then it crosses over your left leg and you're just reaching your right foot towards the floor. So it's like a moving twist. And then you reverse it, bring the right leg right back to the floor. And then you'll go to the left side. Left leg lifts and reaches over. Okay. And this is a place where you decide if you want to go back and forth, alternating here. And slow, gentle movement calms you down, take that option. If you like holding your twist and taking some stillness and that feels more soothing to you, then just cross a leg over and take a few breaths and really breathe into your twist. Okay, so we're all different as far as how we down regulate and how our nervous system is able to come into that parasympathetic restorative state. So I think it's good to try to be more intentional about it and see what really works for you. Yeah, awesome. And then take any last micro movement, adjustment, shape, position that your body is intuitively asking for right now. Maybe you're ready for just some moments of stillness. Maybe you need to move something, adjust something, and then we'll come into a comfortable shape. It might be the same comfortable shape you started with. Maybe you bring your legs up the wall, just any kind of soothing, restorative shape that's going to feel good to you. And if you're comfortable, you can allow the eyes to close. See if we can check in again, just how we started, but see if we can check in now that we're winding down, taking a moment to notice any physical sensations or changes in your body, noticing any emotions, maybe some new emotions or new feelings, or any thoughts moving through your head. Inviting any tension or tightness that you might still be holding on to soften and release. Let the body be heavy, supported. Sink a little deeper into your mat. Take a few moments to just be. And you can start to invite your awareness back to your breath and your body if it happened to wander off. Check in with the quality of your breath now. Is it flowing with ease? Where in your body do you notice it? And you can start to invite gentle movement into the fingers and the toes, maybe circling the wrists or gently rocking the head side to side. And then moving to more macro movements, maybe hugging the knees in towards the chest or taking a full body stretch. And if you have more time, nothing going on, maybe you just shut me off and keep resting. If you got to make your way on up for the next thing, you can roll over and come into a seat. And we'll come together, reach the arms up, grow nice and tall, float the palms together, and come through heart center. We'll bow forward and gratitude for practicing together today. Thank you all so much. I hope